This is Event Masters. Behind the scenes stories, experiences, and lessons shared by the world's leading event experts. Hosted by Christian Napier.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Event Masters. I'm your host, Christian Napier, and today I am joined by truly one of the legends in this event industry, Mr. Ricardo Trade, who we all affectionately know as Baka. So, Baka, thank you so much for joining. Welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here with you. We have a history on this together, and it will be so interesting to stay here with you during these moments to share some moments of our career together.
Well, I'm super excited to dive in the history, but I have to ask you, where are you joining us from now, today, and what is it that you're currently working on?
Yeah, I'm here in Miami, U.S., at home. I'm working from home today because of this. We have an office here. I'm working for CONMEBOL. That's the entity that takes care of the South American football, the 10 countries of South America. And I'm here to lead the project. I'm the CEO of the CONMEBOL Copa America 2024. It will be held here in U.S. It will use 10 teams from CONMEBOL and 6 invited teams that needs to qualify from CONCACAF, from Central and North America, for sure. And then these 16 teams will use 13 stadiums in U.S. The majority of them will be used also for the World Cup. Then I think it will be a huge test event for FIFA. And we'll have this from 20th of June 2024 to 14th of July 2024. It's my role now. I'm here in Miami taking care of this organization called the CONMEBOL Copa America.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you just recently finished working another World Cup, FIFA Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. And sounds like you've just jumped right from that event, that incredible event in Doha, in the country of Qatar, now into Miami.
I love to be there. I left in April, and immediately in May, I'm here to working for this project. Only 10 days with the family in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, but I'm here, and my wife is with me also. We are from now here, and it's a really interesting project that I love it to be invited to be here. I need to say thanks for CONMEBOL to believe on me to lead this project.
Well, they couldn't have picked a better person, and I'm super excited to learn more about what you're doing there. But I want to go back to the past. You mentioned that we've known each other for a while. I recall working with you beginning with the Rio 2007 Pan American Games back in 2007. But your history in sport and in events goes back even much further than that. And I'm curious, Baka, if we could wind the clock back to the beginning. Perhaps you can tell us a bit about yourself and how you got involved in sport and in events.
Yeah. I used to be a handball player, a goalkeeper of the national team during 8 years of the Brazilian national team. This is my history, and it was very interesting for me because I visited a lot of countries, a lot of cultures, and also learn a lot how to proceed as a teamwork. I think this is important for me. Right after I studied in the past business administration and 5 years in the Catholic University in Belo Horizonte, but I'm also working in volleyball. I was there with some friend of mine that invited me to participate to collect balls in during, because I love sports. I was there. I'm working in Coca-Cola company as administrator, as a manager, but I decided to join this effort in sports, and then I started to study physical education also, more 4 years in the university, and it was interesting because it gives me more knowledge about sports industry. And for sure, it's so different at this occasion. I become the physical trainer of the Brazilian volleyball team. I went to Seoul Olympic Games with the men's team. We held the fourth place there. We lose against Argentina, but I worked also with the women's team here. I used to be 7 times in Japan, learning a lot. But what's the key point for me is because the president of the Brazilian Volleyball Federation at this occasion was Carlos Arthur Nussmann, that you know well, and he at this occasion, he said to me right after the Olympics there in Seoul, he said to me, Baka, please forget the pitch, the field. I need you in the management system. I have a lot of coaches. I don't need more coaches. I need managers. This changed my life, this occasion. Then he invited me to join as a supervisor, as a head of delegation of the Brazilian team in several occasions. This is so important because he changed the mind, not to send a political guy to do this, but a professional guy to lead the team in a trip, very important, to participate in world championships. I went to several world Cups in Japan and so on. And then that's the point that I changed in my career. I dedicated more time to be involved in management, for sure. And this was so important for me to start the process. For sure, I joined a company called Octagon Koch Tavares. In the beginning, it's only Koch Tavares, but later on, Octagon bought part of this company, and then it was Octagon Koch Tavares. They have the rights to do the volleyball world championships here in the beach volleyball world championships here in South America, and also they created a sport. I participate on this very with a friend of mine, Fulvio Danilas. We participate in the creation of a sport called beach soccer. We create each rule of beach soccer together with an Italian Giancarlo Signorini guy that was the founder of this, but we created together here in Brazil, found the federation, the national federation, and so on, and then joined Koch Tavares because Koch Tavares also do tennis and concerts and so on. It was really an important experience for me in the world of events. They are so good. The president of this company is Luis Felipe Tavares. He's very tough, as Carlos Arthur Nussmann is, asked to have the best things in their events. They need to be very professional and very correct to have the best situation for the athletes, for the fans, for everyone, for the clients, and so on. That's when I invested in Koch Tavares. And right after, I decided to create a company to lead a sport that I believe a lot. Until now, I believe a lot in this sport, futsal. Futsal, for me, is one of the best sports of the world. A lot of goals, spectacular idols. They have so good players. It's very interesting sport, and it's small court. We don't need a lot of space to play. For sure, in Brazil, we have a professional league during the last 26 years, and I led this process in 2002, 2001 to 2004. I was the marketing director of this league, the futsal league. I worked with them. That's nice. Then I have a political issue with the president. The president was not re-elected, and then they changed the entire team to do the league. Then I was in a kind of a tennis brand called Dow Ponte. I was export manager for them during 9 months, not more than this. Then Nussmann again asked me to join the efforts of the Pan American Games when we start to work together. That's my history until the Pan American Games, I think. And then if you want to proceed, I could proceed, but I think this is the key point for me.
Well, a couple of things that are interesting to me here, as you go about your early history, starting as an athlete at a high level, participating as a member of national handball team, getting involved with national federations, getting involved with a company like Coca-Cola, who's a sponsor, working with various organizations that you may have co-founded, private organizations, starting national federations, working with local organizers. To me, it sounds like this gives you what I would consider a holistic perspective on events, right? Because you can see it from many different viewpoints, not just from the viewpoint of an athlete or the viewpoint of a federation or the viewpoint of a contractor or the viewpoint of a sponsor or an organizer or an event owner. You can see it from all of these viewpoints. And one thing that I want to ask you, though, is you've had opportunity to work in many different organizations with many different leadership styles. And I'm curious how you developed your own leadership style. You've mentioned a couple of people who brought you on, like Newsman, for example, and others, and they have their own styles. But I'm curious, what do you consider your leadership style to be? And how did you form that style? What were some of those formative experiences that you had throughout your career? Maybe a few stories of people who you worked with that helped you form your own leadership style.
For sure. First of all, my father is a guy that, of course, he's not with me more, but he has no studies. He is so poor, and my mother also. They invested in education. I think this is fundamental for my family. They invested to give education and good place to live. I think this helped me a lot. Belo Horizonte, my city of origin, is a kind of city that is very interesting because they are conservatives. They are very, very good on relationships, to create friendly, to have a lot of friends. And of course, I had this opportunity to be on this, or a good study to make the to learn every time. Some friends of mine say that I love to do any course in general. I could not see a course. I start and try to start to learn more. This is essential for me. But the most important thing on this is that my coach also, my coach in handball, is my second father. He created me. He gave me the first beer together. I started with 11 years old. He come to my home and say to my father, "Hey, I'm here with my son. His son has the same age of me. He's my friend, my biggest friend in the world, and until today." And then this guy was with him. That, "Hey, I'm here to have your son with us to play handball because he's so good." We saw a game that he suffered 53 goals, but he was the best player in the court, in the field, because the other team is so good. It's his team. And then he invited me. He went there, and he started to teach me on this kind of leadership, open mind, to have a team working. And sometimes, for example, I remember that he created an excursion to Argentina to play against River Plate, against the teams there, in handball team there. And then he said, "Baka, you'll be the head of this. We have a team here. We'll sell some things. We'll go to the government, ask for money. We will try to," and then we rented a bus and come alone to Argentina with him. And it's my first initiative in sports as a manager, from, let's say, like this. But the most important thing, to be honest with you, Christian, is the easiest way that I don't think we need to have nose up in any part of the job that you do. The leadership must be, you need to give the people the opportunity that they will be part, they would feel that they are part of the project, they are part of the team, they will be part of the good result that we do. Yeah, that's the good thing, to share all the ideas together. And of course, we need to decide. To decide is another thing, but to share and to listen a lot. We have two of this and only one of this. Let's listen more than talk. This is essential for me. I become a leader of teams. Yeah, I always said, and then in Qatar, as soon as I arrived there 2 years and a half ago, the people are delaying to hire people, our organization. And then I insisted with my CEO, because I'm the deputy CEO. I said to him, hey, Nasser, we need to hire. It's not system that do the things. People do the things. Good people. We need to hire good people. And the best thing of the world is to hire people that are better than you. You don't, not to be afraid of this. They will teach you. They will help you to deliver. And then this is my, to be honest with you, success of my job is always to have the best team of the world, the best professionals working with me. For sure, that I believe that some people that could have the right to say to you things that you don't want to listen, because sometimes this is the best guy to say to you, hey, I have a friend of mine that worked with me in the World Cup in Brazil 2014. I used to be the CEO of this World Cup, and then this guy is my general manager of relationship with the whole series. Very important position that I choose carefully. Fabio Starling worked with us in the Pan American Games in the volunteers area and so on. Fabio Starling is a former volleyball player, tall man, 65 years old at this occasion, a very experienced guy, helping me a lot. And this guy on my step. Baka, you are talking so loud. Baka, you are not saying thanks. You are not saying goodbye. You are not saying this. You are so aggressive. Be careful, and so on. We need this kind of people besides you. This is another guy that were very important for me. He died playing beach tennis in Barra da Tijuca there. I arrived 10 minutes later. He's in the ambulance. I go with the ambulance with him, but it was impossible to save him. He's a nice guy and teached me a lot on this. This is essential to have to make a leadership work, to have a team, and the team must have truly, I believe on you and your intentions. This is so essential. But it not, and also in volleyball, I learned a lot about this, because sometimes some people said to me and to my coach that I learned a lot also. It's Inaldo Manta, another guy that passed away. He's the coach of the women's national team. I worked with him, and he said, sometimes he said to me one day, Baka, the people are saying that we are so kind. We need to be more tough. It's not a problem to be kind. It's easy. For sure, we need to ask the people to do the things. If they did a mistake, repeat. If they did a mistake, repeat. And if they are not winning, we will ask them to win like this, giving them guidance on this. But we will not be rude at any time. It's not our style. It's the way that you do the things. And I think this is the best leadership way, because we will have, for sure, if you listen Machiavel, you never believe on me, because Machiavel said that the people must be scared of you. I don't think the people must be scared of us. This is my style.
Wow. Thank you so much for giving us that background. I remember Fabio Starling, and he was a gentle giant, I would say, very soft-spoken individual. Really admired him. And so thank you for reminding me of him, because I haven't thought of him for some time, and I'm sorry to hear of his passing. Baka, one thing I want to ask you is you assemble these teams, and I agree with you that people are most important, but these events are not easy. You're talking about Pan American Games, Olympic Games, very complex. FIFA World Cups, very complex, very high profile, very high pressure events in different places around the world. And I'm curious if you can share a couple of stories about some of the challenges that you may have faced organizing some of these very high profile events and how you responded to or overcame some of those challenges.
Yeah, let's say one thing here, starting with the Pan American Games. I think Nusma invited us to join and to have the best Pan American Games in at the times. I really believe on this. And one thing that I always said to everyone is that Nusman create a kind of MBA for us. All the people that are working there, we have a lot of consultants like you, like the people from Australia, the people from Greece. We received a lot of people that teach us to deliver these kind of big events. This is the most important thing for me on the beginning because I have the experience here. I have the background here. I know my country. This is essential to deliver. But the people that I'm saying here, you and the others, they have the experience that we don't have. And then it was very important for me. Nobody will pay this for me because it was for free and it was nice. I learned a lot. The challenge that we suffer is mainly always, I think, is the relationship with the public sector. It's not easy to take care. For example, during the World Cup, I have 12 cities, and then we have 12 governors, because 12 states in Brazil, and 12 governors and 11 mayors, because Brasilia has no mayor, only a governor. Then it was so difficult to treat because they are from different parties and they are influenced about this and this. One example, very tough for me, is that the governor of one state do not wants the World Cup there. And the mayor is supporting us, but the other is from the wing, the party of the left side, and he said, "I don't want the World Cup here. I will not support." This is so difficult, and it was very interesting. A guy that you know also well, Roberto Siviero. Roberto Siviero did a kind of negotiation course in Harvard, and he indicated me to be there. I participated in this before the World Cup. It was so important for me to learn to learn how to intermediate with different types of interests and so on. But at the end, I have this ability. I know my country. I know people. This is when we finished the World Cup here in Brazil. Jerome Valk said to me, "Baka, well done," and shake my hand. The moment when we finished the final match, he hold my hand and said, "Well done, Baka. You really, the difference between others is that you know well your country, because to have a leadership on this, not easy." Not easy. I'm talking with the Minister of Sports. Until now, I talked with him, Aldo Rebelo. I talked with governors, mayors, with different interests and so on. But again, we are the guys that are giving them the requirements. They will sometimes deliver the stadiums and so on, and I will operate. And FIFA is very easy on this because FIFA gives you the entire money to you to operate. We don't need to sell tickets. We don't need to sell properties. We don't need to sell TV rights. All of these are from them, different from the Olympic world. And then you have the money. And if you do, and also I invited another guy from the Comitê Olímpico Brasileiro, Vitório Mendes de Moraes, to be to do my budget. I asked Nusman to borrow him to do my budget process. I have a financial guy with me, but he's not specialist in events. Vitório knows this. Vitório did the Rio 2016 budget, and then he did for me, and it is essential. For example, one challenge: FIFA asked every country to give free ticketing for the free transportation for ticketing holders. I said to Jerome, we don't have public transportation in Brazil, and in general, it's a concession. The guys needs to receive money. Nobody will pay this. Forgot. Keep this money in my budget. I promise you that I will try not to use. At the end, what happens? Eight states paid the public transportation. For no, and I have this money with me to pay by myself, to hire some buses, additional buses, shuttles, and so on, and resolve the situation. These are some challenges that someone that knows the country. And in my case in Qatar, it's exactly in the other side. For sure, they received me so well because of my background. I'm not nose up and so on, but also because my grandfather is from Lebanon, and then it's Arabic. It is easier to them to accept. But the first thing that I did is to ask my guys there, my Brazilian guys that are working there since more time than me, hey, what's the best guy to be besides me? He said, it's Jassin Al-Jassin. Jassin Al-Jassin is now the CEO of the Asian Cup next January, but he used to be my COO, seated here besides with me, room by room. I said, sit here nearby me. He's a very powerful guy, young guy, but visionary guy, and very influenced with the royal family and so on. This helped me a lot to understand. Sometimes he said to me, Baka, do not come on this way. Baka, do not come in this way. Put this on me. Put this on me. For example, I will give an example here. The discussion about Budweiser to be sold or not. He said, Baka, do not interfere on this. This is religious. It's another thing. It's not commercial. And then I said to FIFA, I said, hey, let's do the following. Let's compensate Budweiser in US. You have another event ahead. Please do this there, not here. It's not a market for them, and so on. These kind of challenges that someone that knows the country needs to be besides you. This is essential, in my opinion. I did work for the Olympics in Rio. I was the director of operations for the beat. You know this. We won in Copenhagen in 2009. Nice operation. I love to participate on this. I have 5 of the 13 of the 17 functional areas under me on this: accommodation, security, transportation, a lot of big areas, and we won there. But as soon as we won, Ricardo Teixeira, the former president of CBF, invited me to be. He never know about me. He's not my friend. Someone said to me that I'm a good guy to be with him. And the first lesson, he said, I need to talk with Nusman about you, not to create problems. For sure, Nusman was not happy with this, but he accepted. I joined the world of football, and a challenge that I have also. And he said to me, I will give you the power to deliver. You be nobody from Brazilian Federation of Football, and he was the president also. Nobody will interfere with you. If they come to you, say that it's my order not to come to you. Yeah, for sure, people asked me, hey, I have a company that could do this. No, no way, no way. Everything here will be with Ernest Young, will be a kind of policy and procedures very tough to buy, and they need to sign a check with me. And then Ricardo give me another lesson. Hey, I will give you the empowerment to do this, but do not accept interference. And also, do not accept public money here. Never have public money here. For example, I gave to him one example, said, hey, a friend of mine is the marketing director of Petrobras, the oil and gas company here in Brazil. And he wants to be the sponsor for the planes, the fuel for the planes and for the cars. He said, here, no, it's public money. As soon as public money is inside the committee, the audit will come and they will try to kill us. I never accept this. Another lesson that you received from this world, the very complex world of public investments and so on. This is why also I'm very happy to say this, that I'm here now with President of Rio 2016. The 33 Olympic federations elected me in 2018. Why? Because I used to be the CEO of the Brazilian Volleyball Federation, and the president is so old. And then I was really a CEO and president, participating in all meetings and so on. And then the guys knows me well, the guys from the Olympic world, and then they invited me, they elected me, and now I'm doing the dissolution of Rio 2016, and it was a nightmare. 362 labor actions, 342 civil actions against us. But for sure, we have an agreement with IOC. We are already solved 99.8% of all things. We have no issues. I think until December we'll close the box. But it's the model, and I'm not talking here that Nusman did something wrong. Never, in my opinion, never. It's the thing that they are doing with him. For me, it's totally ununderstandable. They are putting a lot of things against him, and to be honest with you, the only thing that I could say is that he chose not the best people to deliver. That's my opinion. I tried to be invited because I would love to be invited and participate, but he's sometimes not today. Today we are friends again, and I'm helping him and supporting him. But sometimes he do like this because I was with the world of football. He said, when I come to the football world, he said to me, I expected that you not return here asking to join again our organization. And then I was here, I stayed here only observing, and it was a nice Olympic Games. I was a client. Brazilian volleyball won 3 medals in this. I was the CEO, and it was a nice atmosphere during the Olympics and so on. Nice, but the arrangements, the financial arrangements, they don't sell a lot of properties and so on. I think the debt at the end is huge. Not now, but at the end, it's more than 100 million US. Now it's totally solved, as I said. But again, it's not. This is one challenge that we have: to use public money to work with the relationship with the several. For example, here during the World Cup, the people said, Baka, the judge said that you not use under 18 people to collect balls in the matches. And it's very useful to do this here. The people love to participate as a project for the youngers and then the judge said, no, Cristiano Ronaldo will ask him, you will be rude with one of these guys, and he could be psychological problems in the future. It's a lot of things that we don't. We will forbid to have volunteers because FIFA is receiving a lot of money, and then we fought again this. A lot of things, small things that was not easy. For example, one day in Cuiabá, we have a lack of volunteers because the majority of the people are working. The city is small, the people are working in the World Cup, in all the companies and so on. And then I said to the Minister of Security, the army guy, the president of Brazil said, you could ask him to help you if you need. And then I called the guy, said, hey, I will pay the fuel, I will pay the pilots, I will pay but I need a plane every morning of matches in Cuiabá to send my best volunteers from Rio to there to deliver 3 matches there. And the guy gave me the plane, said, pay on this, very clear, no doubts on this. And this is a challenge because we need to have. And then these 100 guys are very happy that we will save the World Cup and so on. We are the best ones. And then it was interesting, this kind of action also.
That's a fascinating story. You know, when you were talking about these events, I was thinking to myself, uh, you've participated in a number of groundbreaking events. And what I mean by groundbreaking, for example, uh, Rio 2016 being the first Olympic and Paralympic Games held in South America,
Exactly.
with Qatar 2022, it's the first FIFA World Cup held in that region of the world, also held in an unusual month, in the winter time for the rest of the northern hemisphere. And I'm curious how you approach some of these events where they were, for lack of a better term, they were in uncharted territory, as we would say, right? These not only do you have these complex events, but they were held in circumstances that the world really hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and the people, sometimes it was something that I said to the guys in Qatar a lot of times. I love to be in Qatar. To be honest with you, I'm missing a lot to live there. My wife also, we love to stay these 2 years there. The people are so kind, a very safe environment. It's a nice place, nice, really nice. And for sure, they have no taxes. This is the most important thing. This is good also. But to be honest, I said to them, hey, we received, when Brazil is trying to have the Olympics for the first time, on the World Cup in 2014, a lot of criticism from the world, the entire world. You know this. The people said, they will not deliver, they will not deliver, they will not deliver. The first thing for me is that I believe a lot. I said, we will deliver when we have good professionals. In Qatar now, we use 332 people from Brazil working in the organization of the World Cup in several companies. This is so important. We created, and you are part of this, we created a number of professionals that are so good on this. Also because we, I always say this, that the Brazilians has, the South Americans in general we never have the best conditions to do the things. If you want to play football, you need to have a ball with socks, because I haven't money to buy a ball in the shop when I was young, and then we play at this. We don't have a post. Then we use our sandals to demark the goal and so on. When you give conditions to us Brazilians and to us South Americans, I think we are one of the best people in the world to deliver, because we are so used to improvise and but we are also very serious. When I was in South Africa, I said to Ricardo Teixeira, send me to a difficult stadium in South Africa to learn how this football world works. And then he sent me to a stadium of rugby there that they use to in Pretoria. And the guy that my head there, my general manager, I was the assistant general manager, and I already has the position of CEO of the Brazilian World Cup. But the guy insisted, it's a German guy. The guy said, no, you do this, do this, do this. We were doing the German way. I said, hey, I will do in the German way, but the Brazilian way is so good also. Believe on me. And then at the end, we become friends and so on. But in the beginning, it's so difficult, the relationship. But we won at the end. It's very interesting. And to be honest with you, this is a challenge that I love. I will give you an example now. Brazil is bidding to have the 2027 Women World Cup in South America, in Brazil. We never did, as the Olympics. We never did. We used the same situation as we did in 2016 bid. We showed the world map without the South American to have there. For sure, it's impressive. Canada has, USA has, because they are bidding. Mexico and USA are bidding together, and also Belgium, or Holland and France are bidding together, but they already had the World Cup there, and we have a chance. We are doing this. We have the stadiums ready. We have the infrastructure. We have the airports. We have people qualified to do this. This is so important. That's why I'm behind the scenes. I created a team of 6 people that are working on this project. They are doing this. They are now today. They are visiting São Paulo. They are visiting all the stadiums because of the guarantees that FIFA asked us to have. The federal government, the former Minister of Sports, fired last week. She has she was she helped us a lot because she used to be my player, my volleyball player in the national team of Brazil, Ana Moser, and then she helped me a lot. She's a woman wants to receive this competition there. It will be the first time for us. I think we won, and it will be another key point for the Brazilians to have an event that we never held.
Wow, this is fascinating, Baka.
And it's a legacy point of view so important because we use the structure, we use the new stadiums that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So I wish you all the best as you continue your pursuit of the FIFA Women's World Cup. The World Cup just recently concluded, right? In
Australia and New
in
Zealand.
Australia and New Zealand, and so it's fantastic. It would be a wonderful opportunity for Brazil. One other question I have for you, Baka, is as you have gone through, this is kind of future facing. So as you've gone through and you've seen the progression of sport and events over the last 40 years, you've been involved in this for a long time. Where do you think it's going? What do you see as the future of sport? We've seen heavy emphasis recently on sustainability, on equality, on a lot of innovation in sport and events. And so I'm curious where you think this might be going.
Yeah, it's not an easy answer. For me, I'm 65 years old, but I want to keep my energy in sports during more 10 years or 15 years. I really want this, and I said to my family, I'm hungry to learn and to participate on this. But I think the esports will have a huge space on this. This is so difficult for me to understand, but I believe that it's a nice thing to do. No, I'm not critical on this, but I don't understand a lot how we could say this is a sport. This is a different way to believe on this, but I respect it and I will support at any time and so on. I have no problems with this. You know that Mario Silente is working on this word, he said to me. I love this. But this is one thing. But another thing that I believe it a lot is to more and more and more and more treat well the fans and know the fans and have revenues from the fans. We have some companies. One of the guys that worked with me in the World Cup, Rafael Mangabeira from Campinas, he has a company called Fanbase. He's doing a huge job with a fan base to have this as a property of the clubs, of the federations, and so on. And then they will make a rebate for the associations because they are using their base, their fan base. Here in the US, I think they are so good on this, for sure. One example here for the Copa America now is that we are not doing the World Cup in Russia with new stadiums, in Qatar with new stadiums, in South Africa with new stadiums. It's easier and more difficult. It's easier because you could implement what you need. You invite your people and the people will be there and implement everything. But create a lot of problems. One challenge that I had for the World Cup in Qatar was the concessions. The concessions was a nightmare in the beginning because all the stadiums are new, brand new, and they have no people in Qatar to work on this. The company that won the bid, they imported 5,000 Indians by plane and Pakistanis and so on to work on this without a lot of training process. And it was a nightmare for me during the operations for the first 10 days of the World Cup. Later, it was better, but it was so difficult for me. Here, you don't need to have this. You hire the stadium. I will pay a fee, 1 million US per match. And they will give me all the operations. They will give me security. They will give me cleaning waste. They will give me concessions ready a lot of concessions for sure. They will pay for me a small part of this. They will rebate this to me because it's my event, but we are using their structure. And then we will have this. They have the ticketing, mastering 10 of the stadiums that we are using, and so on. It's easier. They have the skybox ready. They have the furniture. They have the kitchens. They have everything, and this is easy because you are renting with these kind of things included. You only pay to have additional service that you are asking for. Also, structure for broadcast and so on. But this is one factor for me. It's to treat well the fans, and also for sure you are very easy to understand this, the streaming sector. It's not only more television, you need to have cable TV, you need to have streaming. One example is when I was the CEO of the Brazilian Volleyball Federation, the guys, we have the rights sold to Rede Globo in Brazil, but the guys are complaining because they need to, Rede Globo forbidden them to stream the other match that Rede Globo is not doing. At the end, I did an agreement with Rede Globo. I will not pay, you'll not pay me more like this, you pay less, but I will keep the rights of streaming with me because the clubs will do this. They need to sell their own sponsors with small matches that will not be interested for the television. This is a thing that we need to think about, that streaming will be the success of the future.
Well, Baka, you mentioned that we've been in this business a long time, and now rising generation is coming to pick up the mantle, so to speak, or we pass the torch to them, the baton, whatever you want to call it. So, and you've seen this in your own experience. I mean, there were so many. I remember back in the Rio Pan American Games and in the Rio 2016 bid and all these events that you've worked on. There've been a lot of young people. For many of them, it could be their first job out of university, or they're just getting out of sport. They're retiring from sport, and they're looking at a career in events, and there's an opportunity. And I'm curious, what advice would you give to the people who are just now getting involved in this industry or have an interest in becoming involved in this industry?
Yeah, I think essential 4 things for me. One is the will to participate, and then please be a volunteer. Stay with the people. The people needs to know you. They will not hire you if they don't know how you proceed in a pressure situation, in a situation that you need to stay until 10 of the night working in difficult environments, in the wind and so on. I think this is essential to have the will and to try to be a volunteer in events. Then the people will see you, will invite you to start. That's my opinion on this. I always say this because I'm also the head of CS, net of universities here in Brazil, CS FIFA. I'm the local coordinator for them since the last 11 years. It was a nice experience to have these students with me. I'm not teaching them, but I'm participating in the process of electing them and so on. Also, I'm judging their final projects. And I love to be with them and to know the enthusiasm on this. And I always said to this, training process is very important. To train, to make more courses, to see a kind of a podcast, and then let's listen the podcast. I have today, this morning, I walked 32 minutes. As I did every day, I do a kind of exercise, and then I listen to books. It's a 12 minutes application that I have in my phone, and I listen to books because it's 12 minutes book, a kind of resume of the books and so on. I'm learning the entire time. This is essential, in my opinion. And finally, language is essential. I remember that Mario Silenti interviewed me for the Pan American Games, and the interview was in English. And this is the difference between my position and not to be hired. And then this is important. English, Spanish, at least it's so important for you to be in this world of events. This is essential. Without this, to be impossible to work here, for example, in the World Cup or for us here or in Qatar, it was impossible. For sure, it's a good advice that I received from my boss. He said, Baka, you need an assistant, but the assistant needs to speak Arabic because you never be in the meetings. They talk sometimes in Arabic, not to you to understand, and it's important you to have a person like this. And then I have a person like this in my team. But that's it. This is the qualities that I think, and insist, knock the doors, and so on. I think this is essential. I received a lot of CVs by LinkedIn. For sure, I responded all of them. Sometimes I delayed 3 days, 4 days, but it said, hey, send this to this, send this to this. It's not me. I'm not hiring. But indicate and I'm always promoting the holes in FIFA World Cup and so on in the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is essential. I think so. It's all other thing that I could say. Use LinkedIn as a media, social media, most important social media as a career progress.
Well, I think that's fantastic advice. And if people do want to get in touch with you and they want to learn more about what you're doing, is LinkedIn the best platform for them to do so?
Yeah, I think so. It's the best way. Of course, they could use my personal email also, ricardotrade@hotmail.com. This is more usual to receive also the communications. I will try to respond everyone, at least say, hey, we're not hiring, I'm not responsible for this process in this moment, do this and do this. This is essential to give guidance to these people that are hungry to work on this world of events.
Fantastic. Well, I should have asked before I got into that end part there, if there are any other stories that you had on your notes that I missed, because I do want to give you an opportunity to share all those stories. And if I skipped over something, I apologize. So is there anything else, any other interesting stories that you want to share before we wrap up?
We have some good histories. One of them is when we won in Copenhagen. The guy from, you know, that Newsman and the mayor love to have a guy that do magic, something like this. He's the guy. And then I said to Newsman, this guy asked me to go to Madrid because he wants to during the process there, because he wants to kill the bid of Madrid there. And I said, I have no money to send him there. I don't have money. And Nuzman said, send. I don't know if it's a bad look for us, but send. You need to arrange a flight ticket to him and send him there. And then I sent him there. This is the history behind the scenes of the Olympics and so on. These some important things. One other is when I was a coach, assistant coach of the Brazilian national team, we decided about we have 14 players, and in the morning we decided that we will have only 12. We already know this. Everyone knows this, to go to the Olympics in Seoul. And then we are in a match on the afternoon, but we already decided about the two guys that we'll cut. And then in the afternoon, we have a match at the end of the day, Brazil against Bulgaria. And then the fans of the stadiums start to shout the name of a player that was in the bench. Pele. And the guy is very enthusiastic. And then I said to the coach, to the head coach, he's not with us more. I said, hey, Bebeto, let's prepare this guy. He said, yeah. Then I put him in the court. He will kill the Bulgarians, and we need to keep him in the team. No, stay there. it's a lesson that are not in the books.
Definitely lessons that are not in the books. Well, Baka, I really appreciate you taking an hour out of your very busy schedule to
Thank you, my friend.
share some of your stories and experiences. I know we just scratched the surface and we caught just a very tiny number of stories because you have a very long and successful career, and we could, you can only tell so many stories in an hour. But I'm so grateful for your time, and it's great to see you once again. And I wish you all the best of success as you continue your efforts there with CONMEBOL in Miami.
Okay, thank you. I'm going also to Asuncion. Sometimes I need to go there. It's a very interesting city, also a very safe city. The CONMEBOL structure is so impressive. They are good on this. I'm loving to be here. That's it. Thanks, Christian, for give your time for me also.
Thank you, Baka. And listeners, viewers, please like and subscribe to our podcast. We'll catch you again soon. Baka, thanks.
Bye. Thanks.